Welcome back to my channel. So I was working on a Ren'Py project and to continue with the video I made last week on this channel and want to show my progress. It is called Pirate and is version 1. Start. This is Pete. Captain Pete. Captain Pete is a pirate. Captain Pete has no ship. Quest, find a ship for Captain Pete. Okay, now you're supposed to click on the ship. So you see when you hover, it changes colors. And if I click anywhere else, nothing happens. I click on this ship and it says quest complete, find a ship for Captain Pete. So I also want to show, it says down here, it has the load button. I added that in because I figured out where you get that from. I want to show something else while I'm in here, the about file. I added some text in here. So I started out by creating two characters. Line 1 is called quest, and then line 2 is called quest complete. They have the same color, but quest complete has a what prefix and a what suffix. And what that does, the what is what the character is saying. And so before the character's line of speech, it puts the opening S tag, and then at the end it puts the closing S tag. S is strike through. So that's how I got the strike through at the end. Line 4, I'm creating a variable that just has the name of the pirate, because I kept changing it and I'd have to go through all the code and find everywhere that I used that. Line 6 through 11 is I created a new screen. I want to talk about that later once I get to that part of the code. So we go to label start, we have a background image, and then we have the image of the dock, which I had to change the size and position. So I just did that in the code because it's easier for me than editing the image. Then we have the image of the person, the pirate, which I also had to change location. And then we have our dialogue starting on line 24, and you can see I used the variable pirate. So it says, this is Jack, this is Pete. We changed the image. By the way, if you notice, line 22, we had to say, we had to realign where the image is positioned. After that, every time we show any image of him, we don't have to do that anymore. Line 28, the $sign is to put Python code, actual Python code. And so all I was doing was putting, as a pre-pinned the word captain onto the pirate's name. So that line 30 actually says Captain Pete. Captain Pete is a pirate. Change the image to the next dialogue, then we hide his image. Now we show the screen. So line 40, I want to go back up and show this. When you create a screen in Ren'Py, you're putting the parentheses and colon at the end like you do in a Python function. So I thought that was interesting and it's good to remember. Line 7 is because I can show a screen, but it doesn't pause the game at all. And so my whole point at this part is I want the user to click on the boat. But if I don't have line 7, modal true, the screen never pauses for the user to have to click on it. The game just moves on to the next dialogue. Now, if you're going to have an image that's clickable, one way is an image map. So for example, if you were making a game where you had a map of different places the user could go from where they are. Like, let's say they're in a forest and they were going to go to one of the 5 towns on the map, then you can just make an image map. And you'd have the image be the background, and then you have your hotspots, I think they're called, with the actual location on the image to say if the user clicks here, jump to whatever place. Because I was only doing one image that's clickable, I thought it would be easier to do an image button. I don't actually know if it was. It was a lot for me to figure out just these 3 simple lines. But I think an image map is a really good thing that they have incorporated into this Ren'Py. So I want to show, let me go with this. Line 10, focus mask. When I didn't have that line in, the actual image, even though it's a boat, and the background is transparent, the background is still part of the image. So if the user were to click anywhere within that rectangle, it would count as them clicking on the boat. If I use focus mask true, then the transparent background is no longer considered part of the boat. So now they actually have to click on the boat. Line 9, the auto boat %s. This is the image to display. So you can have different situations, and each of those situations can have a different image. For example, when I hovered over the boat, the image slightly changed colors. It gets a little bit darker because the hover image is a separate image from the main boat image. I also had to put an idle. So boat idle is, so now I have 3 images of this boat. 2 of them are identical. One thing that I tried is to have a line. There's like 5 or 6 different variations that you can have. And so I tried to put each of those lines in so that I wouldn't have an auto, and so that each of those situations could just use the standard boat image. That didn't work for me. I don't know if it's because of something else I was doing or if that's actually a problem. Because I had a lot of problems in my code, and just it was easier just to change this line and create the other images to rule out all my extra lines as being the problem that I was having. Basically what I'm trying to say is I don't know if it's necessary to have a bunch of images that are exactly the same, but I ended up having 2 that are the same and 1 that's slightly different, because that's the easiest way that I could find for this to work. Line 11, this action, and then we're jumping to this other label, boat found. Action is when you click on the image, or when the user clicks on the image. There's another one called alternate, which would be if they right click on it, or if they have a touch screen, they can long press on it instead of tap. So there's action, there's alternate, there's sensitive. There's a number of other things that different ways I guess the user can interact with this image button. Action was the only one that I needed, but there are a number of other things that are already built in. So I thought that was pretty nice also. I then have on line 40 this user quest, state the quest for the user. That I was doing because since I'm not doing this as a story game, it was pretty easy just to give the user a quest and then later tell them the quest is complete. There's all kinds of things I could do with this. There's I can use an image, put the image on the screen. I can have a checkbox next to the quest text. I think it would be nice to have the quest as a separate variable, because that way I don't have to type it out. But since I was only doing this one quest, I just left it this way. Line 45 is because I had this show screen on line 40, and when they would click on the boat and it would go to this label boat found, they could never actually exit the game because this screen was, I don't know, at one point it seemed like I was in an endless loop because of the screen. And I don't remember what fixed that, but even when that was fixed, I still couldn't exit the game normally. So I found out I had to hide the screen. And then at the end, you return to exit the game. In the options file is this about, so that's where you can write what you want to be in the about page. You can also change the name of the game. This name is used so many times throughout this file, so it is nice to know the name that you want when you start the game. Just a heads up. It's not a big deal though. This screens.rpy, you have a lot of different screens that you can use in here. And so, for example, that image button screen that I was using, if that's something that I was going to use multiple times or in multiple places, this file is probably where I want to put it, not in the script, because this would be reusable. Also, as I was looking through the options, screens, and GUI files, there are a lot of things that are customizable, and that it's made fairly easy to see. It gives really good descriptions of what is going on in here to be able to figure out what you need to change to make this customized the way that you want the game to be. This quick menu screen, this is where I added the load button. And you see how easy that is to figure out. All you have to do is say, instead of show menu save, just show menu load. You can see how easy they make this to be able to figure out. And I'm not saying that I would be able to figure out all of this on my own without researching something online. But when I find something online that if I change this, it will be what I want, from there it's fairly easy for me to find in these files exactly what it is that I need to do different. So, I am really excited about Ren'Py, and I have plans for my next project on this channel. I know exactly what I want to do, and I'm really, really excited about it. So, I hope you will join me then. Thank you for watching, and I hope you are having fun with your projects.